Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beyond the Nines. We've got another video for you. A video I didn't think I was going to make today, but I had to. Look at this signing. Tete to Leicester City. We finally got announced. We're going to go through all the details, the weird contract situation that he's got going on, his heat maps, his stats, his facts, what's good about him, what I potentially don't like about him a little bit as well. But apart from that, like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So what do we know about him at the moment? So he signed for Leicester City, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail, and the things have been going around Leicester City, all the Leicester City sites, and we're so excited that he signed. But 175 centimeters, 22 years old, it's turning 23 in February. So again, he's not even at his peak of his career yet, really early on. And yeah, really excited for that one. He's a left-footed, but mostly plays on the right, which is what we need. Good at taking on players, good at dribbling, good technically with his feet. And I was just so excited to show you some of the statistics and things around him, and I can't wait to get into it. But the main thing I want to talk about in this one is a contract situation, which is all over the place. So you've probably heard of what is going on with Tete, and he's on a loan, but not a loan in 6 months, and he was bought out of a contract. I'll break it all down just now. So a little bit about his contract situation. Obviously, he's at Leicester at the moment. He joined Leicester again just on the 29th, and his contract expires in June. Now, there's a whole situation, obviously, with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and which means that, again, his contract expires on June 30th. However, contracts have been frozen for the next 2 years, from what I understand, which means that technically his contract expires at the end of this year, which means he'll be without a club from June. He can sign a pre-contract agreement, but the earliest he can join Leicester City on a permanent transfer, if all works out, is the 1st of January 2024. So obviously a weird situation because Shakhtar Donetsk obviously are going through a rough time with obviously the war in Ukraine. So again, whatever you think of that situation, that's obviously not a great situation. But again, his contract, he's with us for the next 6 months, from January till June, which is obviously a good amount of time for us to get the most out of him. So what can we expect of him? Again, he's a tricky right-sided winger that plays on his left foot. He cuts in, creates opportunities for people, and we'll get some of the statistics later on, but he looks like a really exciting promise. And we've been wanting a right winger for a while, and he fits the bill quite perfectly. We've had lots of failed attempts, and with this contract, with what's happening, it seems like it works out for all parties. We bought him out of his Lyon contract because he was on loan to Lyon at the time. And basically, we've got him for the next 6 months. This is our opportunity to kind of see what we can do with a player like himself. So I probably don't need to show you the whole compilations. You've probably seen them, and they are looking really tasty. Of course, from a compilation, that says one thing, and statistics will say another, and it's about the eye test and how he'll fit into the Premier League. We will have to see that as he goes along, but I think in this case, what a player he looks like, and what a signing that Leicester City managed to do. Credit to Martin Glover for getting this sorted, because these signings are recent are looking really juicy. I mean, in terms of the player that we're getting, he looks like the perfect physicality that he's made for, even though listening to a couple of Ukrainian reporters said he's perfect for the Premier League. He's played as well at Lyon. We bought him out of his contract. He seems to be that right winger that we're really missing and we're really going to get involved in. But we go straight into statistic for you. We don't want to waste too much time. So just something we're looking at the moment. Again, this is Fbref. I'll leave the links down below to statistics. But again, really, really positive statistics we're looking at compared to this season. In goals, we desperately need this. XG, he's in the top 70th percentile, which is great. We desperately need goals going forward. If we are going to stay up this season, we're going to need our forward players to really kick on. I'll show you how he fits into Leicester City in a bit. But non-penalty goals, great. I mean, shooting-wise, it's something that we desperately need. Shooting-wise, again, looking at all this red, I don't want to go through each individual, but goals, shots on target, fantastic. XG, fantastic. Passing, again, not the best in terms of this, but average in terms of passing, but we weren't going to need him for that. We've got Yuri Tillman, James Maddison for this role. Passes completed, again, is relatively high for here. But assists, great. Expected assists, great. And pass types, again, what he's really good at from what we've seen so far, he gets into good positions, takes on one or two players, gets past them, puts it on a plate if someone just put it in the back of the net. And it's going to thrive, hopefully, for Leicester City. And just a play like this, I didn't think would happen. I'm so glad we got it over the line. Just some more statistics at the moment as well. Obviously, we're looking at his heat map and his kind of spider chart at the moment. Shooting, obviously, very high. Assists, very high. Carries, fantastic. Passing, again, not as good, but again, and the main thing he's not good at, aerials, again, which we would expect for someone that's 1m75, and recoveries. This is one area that I'll pick up again more in the conclusion, but what we need him for is a player going forward that's going to attack, make sure you go forward and just beat a player. And this is something that he does exceptionally well. Whether he comes into the Premier League, if he brings these same statistics, it's going to be fantastic for us. So, how's he been for Lyon this season? So, he started 17 games since the beginning of the season, started 14 of those games, and again, he's got 6 goals and how many expected goals, 4.2 overall, goals per game, shots per game. It's just statistics wise looks fantastic. Now, bearing in mind, none of these from penalties, but he has got, from in terms of assists, again, 2 assists, 6 goals, which I think does him a disservice. I mean, he's a very good, technically good player. Passing wise, fantastic. And he just goes into his own half, again, makes the game himself. In terms of a little bit about where he's going to play, he plays mostly as a left-footed player on that right-hand side. So you can see he takes up a lot of this inside positions on the outside, but will come inside and is likely to either go either way. He is left-footed, but he works equally on his right, either coming in this side to cross the ball in, someone like Jamie Vardy or Pat Sandaka or Kelechi Iheanacho, or even Harvey Barnes to finish off, or taking his position and taking on a man. Oh, we've missed that so much from that right-hand side. James Maddison is great, but he's been kind of shoehorned into that right-hand side. And I think Tete can really take that player on, beat a man, cause defenses a real problem, so that we've got multiple attacks going forward. At the moment, it's just all on Harvey Barnes. So we know he's good, but how good is he? Well, what I've got for you here is a little attribute overview comparing him to the likes of Harvey Barnes. Yes, they play on opposite sides and they won't be playing in the same position, but I think it's a good estimation of how good this player is. So everything in green you'll see is Tete. Anything in blue you'll see is Harvey Barnes. So again, you're looking at attacking, Tete is slightly better. Creating chances, Tete is slightly better. Defensively, way worse. Harvey Barnes is better at defending. It's not saying much. Again, he is an attacking player, but it's something to be aware of, and we'll talk about a little bit later. Tackling, Tete is slightly better, and technically, Tete is better as well. So you're looking at that, you're going, right, he's definitely going to be a player that going forward is what we need. Now, defensively is where he falls short. But overall, you can see attacking statistics compared to the main winger that we've got at the club at this moment in time is quite clear in some instances of Harvey Barnes, which is great because I think as well, Harvey Barnes will thrive with Tete playing alongside him. So again, I don't want to go into too many stats and facts and things like that. I mean, we've got there's a fantastic player, and I don't want to touch too much on it because you've probably seen from the highlight reels everywhere. He's a quality player. But how does he fit into Leicester City in terms of the formation we like to play? Let's look at it. So the formation that Leicester City like to play is a 4-3-3. So again, he'll probably slot alongside. I've put Iheanacho here for a reason. So you've got the likes of, again, Tete will fit in on this right wing position, Harvey Barnes on the left. The reason why I put Kelechi Iheanacho ahead of everything here is because he will drop into this centre space, and he's been taking up a lot of these roles a lot more of the time as well. He's not been coming and playing that out-and-out striker, and he's been that half 9, half 10. And considering Jamie Vardy might be going at the end of the season, Pat Sandaka will mention in the next slide as well. But for this one, what will happen is that he'll drop deep, or he'll drop and get the ball and then be able to pass it on. Somebody like Tete will then run up this side of the pitch and provide that width. So either A, cut inside, shoot and score, or take on a man, get round and whip the ball in across so that Barnes can finish. I mean, this is where I think Harvey Barnes will really thrive with a player alongside him. Also, something to mention, again, I've got Ricardo here. He could replace with Castagna, but the reason why I put Ricardo in, A, he can speak Portuguese and he'll have that relationship with Tete, with them speaking the same language, and B, he's that more technically gifted footballer than Castagna. I love Castagna, but he's not got the technical ability to get past a player like Castagna can, like Ricardo can, sorry. So he'll be supporting Tete in this, allowing Tete to do what he can do, but also Ricardo can then either A, drift on the inside, B, when he's up to full speed, provide that pivot going left and right. But it allows Tete to kind of have the freedom to move where he wants. And also maybe he can play in this kind of centre role here, cutting out the passes, moving, letting Tete go forward. Now, when Ricardo's back at it, we know how good Ricardo can be in terms of defensive stats. I think the year before he got injured, his defensive stats were better than Ndidi, and Ndidi was on fire that season. So it will allow Tete to go forward, do what he needs to go going forward, kind of like Riyad Mahrez did, and Ricardo can then pick up the other slots, the other positions going forward. In terms of what we need as well, the reason why I put Samori in, he'll be that screen in front of that position. So you'll have that Tillemans, KDH, and as a 3 compact. And then you've got the options of Tillemans moving into the center and spraying those passes of quarterback over to Barnes, over to Tete, allowing that. And Samori comes into that position as that lone DM just to screen that back 4. And I think that's how it would work in this formation. You could see Tete potentially playing along in the striking position or on the left-hand side. However, we're going to use him mostly at the right wing because this is the formation that we really need him. We looked at the 4-3-3. Now let's look at 4-2-3-1. So with Tete coming into the team, how do we set up? Well, KDH drops to the bench, not because I don't think he's a bad player, just because I think this formation suits James Maddison a little bit more. And what with that, you need Tete will be, again, he's a right mid, but he'll probably be over here to this right-hand side, cutting in. And what we will do is you'll play off Daka. So Daka will be that out-and-out striker. What this will mean is that Tete will probably come round to this side, take on a player, come on the outside, and then just square it over for Daka just to put it away in that position. Harvey Barnes will do the same, run in and then potentially cut inside and then shoot. Again, Patson Daka creating that space as well. So we're thinking about the future of Leicester City as well. And that's why I've included the likes of Suter, who's not confirmed as of yet, but it looks like a player that's coming relatively soon. And again, when you've got Tete up in this position on this right-hand side, you can then have Ricardo again coming and advancing on this right-hand side, which I think, again, could provide the overlap, but also provide that stability that we need going forward. And I think these two, particularly when they're both fit and both playing, could be a real force to be reckoned with. And let's not forget how good James Maddison is. He will be providing this information over to Barnes, over to Tete, over to Daka, and allow, again, this free from number 10 role, which we've not seen James Maddison in a while. He works in that number 10. We know how good he is. Giving Tillemans that role to hang back a little bit more, and then him to go and be that creative freedom player that we know he can be. This way, I think that when the team's setting up, you can't just mark one player out the game. You've got to mark all 4, which you can't do. And all of these 4 will cause you problems. Daka, again, we've not seen it as much this season. Barnes can cause problems. Tete, we've seen, can cause problems. And James Maddison could just pick the passes off them. And if they get past that, you've still got Tillemans and Samori to kind of hold that back line as well. So to summarize, I mean, we do need a right winger, and it's great to see that we've got one in. I'm surprised we've got someone as good as this. Looking at the likes of Under that didn't work and Diabate that didn't work, this is a really good signing that Leicester have made. Now, it's a really weird one because obviously it's a 6-month non-loan weird thing because of what's happening in Ukraine. Leicester City have needed this right winger, and he's coming to the squad, and hopefully he's going to hit the ground running. He's got the physicality that I think for the Premier League needs, but one of the pros is obviously the quality of player that we've got with him is absolutely, I'm blown away. I'm really, really happy. And if this continues, Martin Glover needs huge, huge respect because it's what a signing hopefully he will be. Some of the cons, again, look at the contract is definitely one of them. And it reminds me kind of the situation with Yuri Tillemans where there was a good player there, but there was other things that people go, I don't want to, bigger teams go, I don't want to touch that. The fact that he's got that contract situation up until 2024, I think we just got to play him 6 months and see how it goes. There's a potential for him to be put in the shop window for a bigger team. However, they're going to be put off by the fact they can't have him for 6 months. I think Leicester City will be prepared to wait. And also, he's coming from Lyon, again, a good side, playing good football. But this is a step up for him. If we can convince him that this is the club that he's going to be at, he'll start all the games, he'll be a decent player for us, and he'll be one to look out for the future, I think we can convince him to sign. But again, it's a little bit of an overview. Again, there's lots of other stats. 2 other things I would recommend. Eurosports video, Euro expert, so I'll leave his link in the description as well. And Joaquin, who you've seen on the channel as well, was in a really good thread. I'll leave the description if you do need some more information, but they go into real detail like myself. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.